it makes me think of, so John Boris left a comment a few minutes ago and said big releases isn't it partly because the org still hasn't changed the way they plan. And so when you talk about, Brett, the example of developers being able to release to a small percentage of users or a small percentage of traffic, how do POs and PMs, that those product organizations, how do they start to plan around CI/CD, and not just plan around it, but plan so that CI/CD can be used to the benefit of the organization? Because to me, that example that you gave is a really good one of how business planning can align with good practices or better practices for their development teams. So like what kind of things can POPM do? What should they be asking their development teams? What should they be asking of their development teams so that to make sure that their product planning is aligned with?
I was going to say, I've got some reactions to
a lot of things. Yeah. Don't ask for things. First of all, stop asking for things because people need some time to actually have things. So part of the problem is don't schedule your people 100%. Don't slam people to the wall because you can look at the neuroscience behind this. You need about 70%. If you go much above that, your efficiency goes down, your ability to think goes down, and so on. So actually, study how brains work. Actually learn how these flesh bags that we occupy actually work so that you can actually make sound decisions as opposed to fear-based decisions, because most people are making fear-based decisions because there's an evolutionary propensity to do that. But a lot of the practices that we have go counter to our evolutionary tendencies, believe it or not. So find the fear and go into it.
So, all right, everything that Brett said, then I'm going to say some different things. While I've been a coach, folks have started to see the strength and the power in, if they go to iterations, they start with like 3-week iterations, and then you can kind of get them down to 2-week iterations, and then you could even start bringing up the idea of a 1-week iteration. And at one point when we were doing this, I said, look, we can actually change the way you're delivering. You can change the way you're planning. We can also even eliminate the idea of estimates if we just simply ask the question, what would you like in production by Friday? And so now all of a sudden that changes the conversation. You're not thinking in terms of these huge backlogs of things 6 months out and you want estimates on all the single stories. You're actually talking about, what do you think is the most important thing that we can actually get into production, and we can do it this week? What is it? And so we actually have a negotiation on Monday, and then by Friday we can actually see it pushed. Now, I used to think that was a great, was aggressive schedule, but now with trunk-based development and continuous deployment, you're actually able to do that like several times a day. But even to get people thinking differently, I still ask the question, well, what if you could actually have a shop that would say, what do you want in production by Friday? And so how does that change your thinking as a product owner or a developer, as a product owner or executive type?